Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus once again. Continuing what I started a moment ago, and I'm posting it in a different video. It's called Story Hour Part 2, How I Met God. Those of you who listened to Part 1, you know I was telling you about this thing, mind over matter, or was it truly a miracle? It was something that was a confusion in my mind, because on the one hand I'm thinking it was a miracle, on the other hand I'm thinking about it was mind over matter, and it was just a jumbo. It's a confusion when you can't bring it together. I think we have that represented in our politics. You can't bring it together. And there should be something that could bring it together, that could make it one. Anyway, I guess the power that was able to bring me to this point decided to teach me something else. So here I am, ladies and gentlemen. Here's a part 2 of the story hour, How I Met God. I guess during this time I'm about 15, 16 years old. And we have, when certain parts of the year, when there's farming and stuff going on, school would be dismissed kind of early so people could get a chance to go home and work, go to the fields. You know, we were sharecroppers, the real slaves, but we didn't know it at that time. And so we would leave school and go home, put our books down. I think before we get our homework, we had to go to the fields and either pick cotton or chop cotton. Pick cotton or chop cotton. If you pick cotton, you got paid by the 100. Pick 40 pounds, you get 40%. Chop cotton, they pay you so much by the day. And on this particular occasion, something happened in my life. I don't want to talk about somebody else's life. I don't want to talk about what somebody told me about somebody else's life. There's one life that I know, and that's my life. And ain't no shame in my game. It's all good. And so I don't mind sharing with you. It gives me a great pleasure to be able to do this. And so here it is. I'm sitting here thinking, I got to go make this money. Coming out of school, and I'm still living with my great-grandparents, and you know, they are old, and they only got Social Security. Social Security. We still in the South, remember. If you just listen to this part, I'm in Mississippi on the plantation. But at this level of the story, though, I moved, my great-grandparents, we moved to the town, the local town, where we still had dirt roads and stuff, but we were moving on up, progressing. Things were changing. Anyway, by this time we had good gravel roads, and I believe this was either on a Saturday or in the evening time or in the summer when school was out. I don't know when of these times it really was, but it was a time chopping cotton. So here I am, ladies and gentlemen. You know, for those of you who chop cotton, you know down south, chopping cotton, ladies, is taking a hoe and you are weeding out grass that's between the cotton. And you weed out the grass because you don't want the roots to strangle the end of the other roots, or you don't want it eating up or draining the substance that the cotton plant would get and come on out of there and be beautiful. And so that's what you would be chopping, or cutting out that stuff. Now it'll be hot in the summertime, and the rows were parted in such a way that you could walk in the middle between the row, or you can straddle a row. And you can pull your shoes off and have your toes dragging your toes in the dirt, because under the dirt was kind of cool. Every now and then you might pick up a snake on your toes, but it wasn't enough to keep you from doing it. So anyway, this particular day, it was a bright day, bright sunny day. And I was out there hoeing, chopping this cotton. That's what hoeing means in the Mississippi cotton fields. And I'm probably dreaming because back in those days, I was always a dreamer. And back in those days, I dreamed a lot. Had ambitions. I wanted to experience life. I wanted to do everything. I had been exposed to magazines, and you see what's going on. You see people having a good time. You see people having these wonderful houses, and they're all decorated and looking all so good. And you got your things, it's done good. You ain't complaining, you know. You treat it decent, and it looks decent, but it don't compare to that. And you always, say, oh, that look good. I want to try some of that. And so you dream. And so, excuse me, you dream. I'm out there in the field, and I'm dreaming. And I'm chopping one row, weeding out the grass between the cotton, and I'm walking, straddle the other row with my feet and toes in the dirt, keep it cool. And ladies and gentlemen, all of a sudden, I freeze. I cannot move. Hair is standing up on the back of my neck. And I cannot move. And the hoe I had in my hand, I had raised it up, and it was frozen in midair. I was holding it, but it was frozen in midair. And I stood there momentarily, couldn't move. And all of a sudden calm began to come over me. And as it did, I started to say, whoo, what was that? And so I decided to bring the hoe on down and hit and cut those weeds in that spot. But as I began to do that, something, I don't know what, snatched the hoe out of my hand, took me and turned me around. I mean, it wasn't no looking back. No, it was snapped around. But it didn't stop there. It had me moving. I was running and screaming, or hollering, whatever you want to call it. And people were saying, Eddie B, what's wrong, what's wrong? I don't know, I'm just running. I knew I was scared. And so, when I got to a certain point, I didn't feel the danger, I felt calm and stuff, I stopped. And then I'm wondering, what in the world was that? What is it that had me going through those changes that I just went through? Curiosity will make you find an answer. So I started walking back to my spot where I dropped my hoe at, and I picked up that hoe, and I looked over on the road that I was standing to straddle. And I took the hoe, and I reached over, and I stuck it between the cotton, and I leaned the cotton over, right there where I was standing my next step. As I leaned the cotton over, there was a big cottonmouth moccasin. Man, straight up in that cotton, just finna wait to get me between my legs. Now, I said cottonmouth moccasin. I didn't know at the time that it was a cottonmouth moccasin. I found it out later. As far as I know at the time, it was a big, big snake. And whoo! Look. Now, let me tell you something. Now, at first, in Dream Part 1, I got a little confusion because I started thinking, maybe what happened was a miracle, or maybe it was just me believing in me had created positivity and there was no negativity anywhere. So there was nothing that could make me to be defeated in what I had programmed to be successful. But it was confusion because something said, wait a minute now, could have been magic, could have been God. But so I'm confused. But here I am now, part 2. When I am 100% in danger. I don't have these excuses and suppositions like I had on part 1. Right here, I'm standing right here with a hoe in my hand and can't move. Don't know why. And something snatches this hoe out of my hand, turned me around, and got me running and screaming. What? I don't know. But it got to be right because I'm scared. I'm so scared. Now, you know we're going to have to go check things out. I mean, look, this is not like going in some of the places that some people we know will go into. No, this was just tipping back where I come from, broad old daylight. It wasn't going up in no canyon. Anyway, so I went back, I took this over, and I saw this snake. And you can imagine what I'm finna tell you. I didn't see that snake. There was nobody in that cotton field with me, working beside me or over yonder or up there, back there. None of them saw that snake. I didn't know I was in danger. But somewhere, somehow, something did. Or someone, I don't know what it was. But something did. But it just didn't only did, it looked at me. And cared about me. And said, no way, Jose, not today. And it performed a miracle. Right there. I know it's a miracle. I'm not trying to convince you that it was a miracle. But for me, it was a miracle. I know what it made me do. And I come back, and I can stand here and say to you that I'm here today because of something that I couldn't see, couldn't touch, couldn't feel. But my being here is the evidence that there was a power somewhere that did. And it just didn't do. It just didn't did. It took care of business. And I'm here to tell you that. Now, because I'm here, I put my faith in that power that I can't see. I put that power over all other powers. Over all other powers. The power I can't see. I put it over every power. And I am that I am. I didn't request the power to come to me and help me when I was in that water. I didn't ask the power to come to me and help me when I was in that cotton field. It just did. It just did. So, when I look at things now, I see the situations of societies that my brothers and my sisters are exposed to. I see it, plain as daylight. But not only do I see it, I'm experienced in it. I walk the walk in it, and I talk the talk. But it's the miracles that made me understand that there's a power that's bigger than man. There's a power that's bigger than me. And that I am here because of that power. I got evidence. I mean, before I could have put on mom and daddy. But what I was going through, mom and daddy couldn't help me. And so I have to give credit where credit is due. I am here because of that. And what I want you to know, what that power said to me and what it did to me was for me to look in the darkness and see the pain and the suffering. See the death. Be an angel like that, whatever that was to me. Understand why people are going through what they're going through. They don't know the truth. They're being lied to. They're being abused. I mean, there are all kinds of names you can use. You can find all kinds of big words to use. But the bottom line is they just messing over folk. Now, for the most part, they don't know any better. I mean, in the beginning, maybe somebody did. They set that thing up. They set it up. They set it up. And then it just became normal, and it was handed down all throughout all generations. People split up because they started seeing different things, different ways, and going all over the earth. All of them got their own thing. Every system of government, I'm telling you the story now, all over the earth, they got their own plans. It's just like all of the different churches to get the different names because they all talk about God, but they got this different thing. They got this different thing that makes them Methodists or Baptists or Jehovah's Witness, Pentecostal or Catholic. They got these different things, but they're all about God. And then, for me, I don't know about anybody else who have seen and experienced the miracle, and I'm looking at all these people that's coming out of Central America, coming trying to cross these borders. Trying to see people that's coming from everywhere. War going on. Woo-wee. Floods, and hurricanes, all that stuff going on. People running for their lives. And you can either be good to them as being good was to me, or you can close the door on them. Let me drown. Let the snake bite me between my legs and kill me. You can let that happen. And that's what we're doing to one another. Just that. And the evidence of that is what we're experiencing in the United States of America today. All of that stuff that's going on. Now, I want you to know the truth. There's no one exempted that's living in America today that is excused the responsibility of the condition of the world. Now, there might be some, and if there are, they are the newborns. The rest of them, when they start walking, talking, they're learning already. They're learning already to be a demon. Anyway, we have lied to ourselves. All nations lie to themselves because that's the plan. That's how you keep them ignorant. We done told ourselves we were great and we were fantastic. Even though we were running from persecution and abuse and had to do with religion, I think, had to do with taxes, the same thing we have all over the world. They were running from that, tired of it. And they came over here. Can you believe? The first thing they started doing was creating over here the same that they created over there, on the same characteristic structure. I mean, they didn't come from there because there was persecution and they had learned to become above that. No, they brought all that persecution right with them. And they started persecuting in order to attain what they wanted, which was the same thing that those others wanted. That's how they attained it, doing the same thing. Now, here in the United States of America, listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. Let me say this to you good. And I'm not talking to you at your church, at your pulpit, because I know your pastor wouldn't play that. But I am talking to you on the free airways. And I'm giving you what has been given to me freely. And I'm giving it to you freely for the purpose of maybe, just maybe, it will have some benefit. What I'm saying to you is this. All governments of the earth represents the anti-God. Somebody might want to tell you, all of these religions are all gods. No, they're not. No, they're not. They belong to whoever started them. You think I'm lying? The people who are Jehovah's Witnesses, they got some basic principles that they have conformed to, and the ones who truly practicing will not go against them. Somebody right down the street, the Mormons, they might have some different principles, but that ain't one of them. And they going right on down there voting. See, now you got these here people all divided, don't know what's going on. They don't know what's going on. But they know one thing, God ain't got no power. So you're restricted. You conform to a building, allowing yourself to reduce the truth down to your praising God by crawling around on your hands and knees in the church, falling all over the benches, not knowing that this is an expression of your emotions being aroused by whatever you got going on. And this is in time has allowed you to condition yourself to, even to the extent that a man can take his hand, woo, woo, and throw it. And whole sections of people felt the Holy Ghost and fell all over. Hey, now you people who don't believe in that, you know that's funny, don't you? I'm just telling you the story. So, what I'm saying to you, since all of the governments of the earth are designed to put God's government aside, and they are insufficiently qualified to meet the needs of you the people, the desires of you the people, without going through all the lying, the cheating, the stealing, the suffering, the pain, and the violence, the poverty, and without doing all of that, going into racism and bigotry and terrorism and war. All of these things are the results of people going their way rather than the way. Now, as you say, well, what do you mean the way? I'm talking about there's a way that made you like you are. There's a way that made your mama like she is. There's a way that made your papa like he is. There's a way that made your feet the way they are. There's a way that made the path that leads to life. Now, all this other stuff, it goes wherever it takes you. But over here, it's going to take love. It's going to take love. And what does that mean? It means the same thing as it meant when you were in that cotton field and you was going to make one more step, and all of a sudden some said, not today. Now you find yourself looking at the world, looking at the evils of the world, and you see and you say, no more, not today. You ain't mad with them. You know they don't know any better. But you know better. And so you tell them that's not the way. And then you tell them the way and be willing to show them the way. Now what is the way? The way is that way that eliminates the pain and suffering. When a people ain't got no teeth, the way to deal with that problem is getting them some teeth. When people ain't got no food, the way to deal with that is getting them some food. And when we're living in a society that is constantly repeating itself in this hellishness, we must be convinced, as it's swimming across a lake, that you're going to get where you're trying to go. Why? Because you're not alone. You're just playing a part. And everybody else playing their part. And together, you're going to get to the other side. My. So what I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, is this presidential election, I want you to step out of the box that you have been molded to fit in. I really want you to step outside that box. And I want you to step into a different box. I want you to step into a box where your responsibility for your life is in your hands. I want you to take back your rights that you've given to others who have abused them and allowed the world that you live in to be reduced to what we have today. I want you to take back your right. Go to those polls and write my name in on the ballots. And that is an indication that you are taking back your power and you are going to represent yourself. And the thing that keeps us connected is understanding what we want, understanding what we need, understanding what we desire, and understanding that the easiest way to get it is to cooperate with one another. Working out there, slaving, trying to get your house, education, trying to take care of your health care, trying to feed your children, all that stuff. Can you imagine how crazy that is? When all you got to do is cooperate with others. And whatever your thing is, if it's building, if it's teaching, if it's engineering, if it's digging ditches, if it's paving streets, if it's stocking shelves, whatever your thing is, you only have to do that. And by doing that and that alone, and everything else is just cream name on the top, ladies and gentlemen, because you chose your career. And being engaged in what you chose gives you your greatest joy. Woo-wee. And now what you find out is that all of what is being done is so interconnected that all the things that you, the people, have determined are essential, just as we have today, we will be able to create them in such an abundance that no one would have to ever be without them. And they come to people as yours, paid in full. You got a career, everything that you need that comes by at the hands of mankind. If you want any part of it, need any part of it, it is yours. Already paid for. Already paid for. Now, that's the truth. That's the truth. And in that is peace. In that is prosperity. In that is joy. In that is freedom. And in that is the fulfillment of your dreams. And what that represents is heaven on earth. Where you, the people, are not trying to get diamonds and pearls to put them on yourself, but to decorate your cities and your signs. Because that's the kind of beauty that you want now. The beauty that is in you is what comes out of you, not what's hanging on you. And so now, ladies and gentlemen, I've given you that part 2 of the story hour, How I Met God. Now, having given you this information, I just want to remind you that in November 2020, they're going to have the general election for the President of the United States. I'm hoping that all of you will wake up and not go to the polls and vote for Republicans or Democrats. I'm hoping that every last one of you will go to the polls and write in the name Eddie Vargas. Why? Because you are going to give yourself to God. You're going to give yourself to the power that you can't see, you can't touch, you can't feel. And you're going to trust it because you're going to live in you. And you're going to become the living instrument of that God. And it is the God of love. It ain't the God that we've been tricked to believe. The God that have you out there killing and killing and killing and killing. No, this is the God of love. This is the God of love. This is the God of love. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.